Actor Bill Cosby and his wife Camille are lending their private collection of African-American art to the Smithsonian Institution. The Smithsonian's National Museum of African Art announced Monday that the collection, comprising more than 300 pieces, will go on exhibit in November, along with a collection of African art. Well, following years of heated feuding between the relatives and friends of Rosa Parks about who would control the estate of the civil rights icon, her personal effects have finally found a home. Nearly 1,500 artifacts, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom awarded to her in 1996 by President Bill Clinton, were purchased at auction in August for a whopping $4.5 million. Philanthropist Howard G. Buffett, the son of American billionaire Warren Buffett, says he purchased the collection, quote, so that as many people as possible can learn about Rosa Parks and the sacrifices she made to support the civil rights movement, end quote. The Parks collection is on loan for 10 years to the U.S. Library of Congress, the largest library in the world. Well, joining us from Washington, D.C. is Adrienne Cannon, who is the Afro-American History and Culture Specialist for the Manuscript Division of the Library of Congress. And she's also the curator for their brand new exhibit called The Civil Rights Act of 1964, A Long Struggle for Freedom. Welcome to Rise America. I do appreciate you coming on, Adrienne. Do appreciate it.
Good evening, Debbie.
So tell me, how significant is this loan of these artifacts, memorabilia from Rosa Parks' estate?
Well, we consider it to be very significant. The library always already has a base of Rosa Parks materials in the NAACP records, which is the largest single collection in the library, totaling an estimated 5 million items. And we also have on display in our new exhibit on the Civil Rights Act, Rosa Parks' arrest record, her arrest record when she was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on the bus in Montgomery, and as well a photograph that documents her being fingerprinted.
Give us an idea of what else will be on exhibit from the collection that's being donated.
Well, I think the most popular item, the one that seems to gather most attention, is the NAACP's lynching flag, which measures 6.5 feet by 9 feet. And the NAACP began flying the flag outside of its headquarters at 69th Fifth Avenue in 1920 in conjunction with its broader campaign on the anti-lynching movement. Every time an individual was lynched in America, the flag reads, "A man was lynched yesterday."
Give me an idea. Will you incorporate these pieces that you put on exhibit with the current exhibit that celebrates the Civil Rights Act of 1964, or will it have its own section?
We're planning on incorporating some of the items into the exhibit. We are also going to be digitizing the documents and visual materials in the collection. So
tell me, for people who are not able to make it to see the exhibit in person, is there a way that they can experience the exhibit?
The exhibit will also be digitized. There will be an online version. We are working at mounting that by the end of the month. The exhibit features over 200 items from the library's unparalleled collections documenting the 20th century civil rights movement, which, in addition to the records of the NAACP, include the records of the National Urban League, Leadership Conference on Civil Rights, Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, as well as the personal papers of Thurgood Marshall, A. Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin, James Foreman, just to name a few.
Indeed. Give me a little peek behind the curtain, if you can, about how the Library of Congress was able to receive this collection from Mr. Buffett. Did you approach him, or did he approach you?
Mr. Buffett had some contact with the library earlier this summer.
Oh, he contacted the library?
It was a mutual contact between the library and Mr. Buffett's foundation.
Was it a source of relief for you there? Because as we know in what was reported in the news, there was big dispute amongst the family of Rosa Parks about what to do with her estate and who would have possession of it. And of course, it ended up being auctioned. How much of a relief is this in terms of preserving this part of American history?
Well, I think, as Mr. Buffett noted, he was concerned that after learning through a news report that the collection had basically been languishing in storage for since 2006. And so I think it's both a relief for the librarian museum community and the nation at large that it now finally has a place to be displayed.
Indeed, as we reported earlier, there are, I believe, 1,500 pieces in this collection that you're receiving. How will you decide what rotates in and out of exhibit, and how long will things stay out in that rotation?
Well, right now we're focusing on arranging to bring the collection to Washington, and until we begin the process of organizing the material and assessing its preservation needs, we're not able to say exactly which items in the collection we will display.
I see. When do you expect, you may have already answered this, but do you have any expectation of when these articles will go out on exhibit?
We're planning on incorporating the items into our current exhibit on the Civil Rights Act of 1964 in the spring of 2015.
All right. Well, when it goes out on exhibit, come back and tell us more about it. Maybe we can show some of it here on Arise America. Adrienne Cannon, thanks so much for being with us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining this edition of Arise America. We'll be back here tomorrow with more of the latest news and information. I'm Debbie Turner-Bell. Have a great day. Bye-bye.